Let's check it out. Let's make sure it works. Let's do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Nah. Squeeze. Okay. All right, looking good. Let's turn off that. There we go. All right, we're here. We're there. We're everywhere. Okay. Alrighty. We're liking this. It's working. Hiya, friends. Let's see if I can get another copyright strike for an improvisation. It happened once, you know. Okay, I guess that makes it work for this week anyway. It's like, stop making stupid noise, Bill, and get to the content. Content, that's what people want. They want to see your dumb face saying dumb stuff about dumb music so they can have some dumb fun. You love it. I love it. Good evening. It's Saturday night. 10 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 p.m. on the West Coast, and whatever time it is where you are, that's cool. Good evening, Michael P. Dawson! Absolutely loved your Friday video talking about the Tall and about the Doors. And the title of your video almost made me shed a tear because I love that one line in Laurie Anderson's Oh Superman where she says, and when Forrest is gone, there's always Mom. And then she goes, "Hi, Mom." And it makes me think about my mom. And, you know, not all of us still have our moms. So if you still got your mom, you take care of her. Give her some love. Even if there's just a person that is like your mom. There you go. Some nice sugar-free beverage. To get you moving this evening. Good evening. My name is Bill. Welcome to Bill's Box of Sound, because that's what you're watching right now. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate all of you. Your likes. Hit those like buttons. Hit them. Hit them now. Hit the like button right now. And subscribe if you have not subscribed already. It's a good evening. Wow. Busy freaking day. Cooked a pot roast. And it was fantastic. Carrots, potatoes, onions. Good stuff. Hello, Paul Ayers. Good to see you, sir. North Carolina vinyl picker. Good evening, sir. Barry. Good to see you, man. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Very cool. All right. All right, let's get some important things out of the way. Most important thing that's been happening, and it's happening right now as we speak. Cheaper Than Cheap by Frank Zappa and the Mothers has been released. The 2 CD, 1 Blu-ray, or 3 record vinyl, or super deluxe set of 3 records and the 2 CDs and the Blu-ray with the movie of the concert that has been up until now unheard. It's been in the vault for 50 plus years. That hasn't even been available on the internet. I think it was originally rumored to be called the Indiscreet Music Show or something like that. I don't know. We'll find out more when the Zappacast comes out, because there will be a Zappacast produced very, 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 very soon. I can't talk any more about it aside from that. But I have not received my copy yet. But I do have to let you know, I have listened to it. And it's wonderful. You know, a lot of people say, man, I am so sick of all of these 73, 74 releases. I mean, there's all these extra concerts that are with the Overnight Sensation album and with the Apostrophe album and this and that. But you got to remember, every Zappa concert is different. Zappa concerts from night to night vary a lot more than other groups' concerts. So I'd be happy to get a whole week's worth of concerts, and I would savor each and every one of them because something different happens in each and every one. And, you know, I know that people will argue with me about this, but you can't necessarily say that about the Grateful Dead. Yes, every show was unique. Yes, every show was special. They changed up the sound, the song list every single night. And that leads me to another question that people ask. Why are there so many more Grateful Dead releases than Zappa releases? Why don't we get more Zappa releases every year? We should get at least 4 or 5 every year, a box set all the time. Because the Grateful Dead, they're putting out all sorts of stuff. And, well, guess what? There's reasons for that. Um, a lot of the Grateful Dead's live recordings are not multi track. A very large number of them are soundboard or just direct to 2 channel recordings. And not a lot of prep has to go into it. I mean, when you start with the Grateful Dead live show, you're starting with the 2 channel mix down already. Okay? So there's a lot of stuff that's been done already. Now, Frank recorded every show that he possibly could as though it was going to be a major release. As you know, Frank took live songs and brought them into the studio, edited them, overdubbed them, completely remixed them, turned them into complete different recreations sometimes. And taking a Frank Zappa live show is not as easy as just slapping it out, because before it can get to the point where a Grateful Dead live show, most of them anyway, starts, um, you've got a multi-track tape that you've got to mix down and make sure that everything is equalized just right. Um, you got to check all of your effects, your compression, your or lack of it, and there's lots of prep that have to go on. Now, once you've got that, then the tape needs to be edited for content, for length, for the format that it's going to be put onto. Then it's got to be mastered. I know that the Dead, they run all their stuff through that plangent processing, and they've got a whole thing going on where they have a minimum of 4 releases per year with the Dave's Picks. And they also are constantly working on archival boxed sets, multi disc box sets, special mixes of things. There's all sorts of great stuff that's available from the Grateful Dead because they're always working on it. All the stuff is there, and it's in an advanced stage where they don't have to do as much work as a Zappa release to get out. That's just one reason. Um, and there's also the fact that up until Frank left us, there was one person who was in charge of the Frank Zappa vault, and that person was Frank Zappa. And he had a lot of stuff in that noggin of his, and he always had multiple projects going on. And there's all sorts of stuff that has to be put together. Now, when you take a look at the number of Grateful Dead releases that are out, we're talking regular albums and live albums. It's close to 300 releases, okay? And only 10 of those are bona fide studio albums. Now, this new one, Cheaper Than Cheap, that's going to be number 130. And, you know, there's a lot of things that have to go on before a Zappa album gets into our hands. This most recent one, Cheaper Than Cheap, as soon as the formulation of the release started to take shape and it wasn't completely finished yet, people were jumping on it and claiming release dates, putting stuff out on French and German sites. Greenaway was putting up stuff on zappanews.co.uk, and a lot of false information was fed to the public. And and I'm not into feeding out the false information, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into putting something out. There's there's work, and the people who are in charge of the Zappa posthumous releases want to bring that quality. Okay, they know that the Zappa fans care, so something like the thing that's coming out now. I mean, they're shipping out cheaper than cheap now. Okay, people all across the planet are slowly getting their copies of cheaper than cheap. I've seen at least three people that I converse with on Facebook uh, in the European Union. I'm sorry, no. One was in the UK, another one was in Europe, and the other guy I don't know. Pardon me. They've received their double CD and one Blu-ray set. And I saw another picture about less than 2 hours ago of somebody who got the super deluxe package with the picture discs in it. Yeah. So there's two different types of super deluxe sets for cheaper than cheap. One's got three black vinyl LPs. The other one has three picture disc LPs. Very interesting. So, um, my copies have been shipped, but I'm not completely sure what when I'm going to be getting them. But I have to say, I have heard the audio of the Cheaper Than Cheap show from June 21st, 1974, in the Zappa rehearsal hall with a private audience, and it's a great show. I can't wait to talk more about it. Hopefully, within a week's time, I will have um, a standalone review of it, and then hopefully, not soon after that, you're going to be seeing a Zappacast of it. So that is so exciting. Let's see. Paul says, I never was honestly a big live album guy, but Zappa converted me. Best live artist ever. Yeah, because he treated every live show like a recording session. Probably even when he wasn't recording, which wasn't often. So, yeah, very excited for Cheaper Than Cheap. It's good. Guitar solos, solos from Napoleon Murphy Brock. Lots of great stuff from George Duke. Jeff Simmons gets in on the act, as does I even think that there is a bass solo from Tom Fowler in there. But more of that will be talked about later on. So that's the Zappa news. Cheaper Than Cheap. It's been released and is being sent out. All the pre-orders are being sent out throughout the world. So I don't know how soon people in the U.S. are going to be getting it. Hopefully, really, 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 really soon. What was I going to say in addition to that? For those of you who say, I want to order it from Amazon or I want to buy it at my local store, as time goes on, and there's no official date that I've heard yet, but my best guesstimate is that sometime in June, maybe the end of June, will be the street date for Cheaper Than Cheap on for any other services that sell it, like for example Amazon or any other online places. But currently, the only places that are taking the orders and selling it is UDiscover, the Universal online music store, and Zappa.com official Zappa store, which is the only place that you can get the Super Deluxe package with the picture discs. Super Deluxe with the regular black vinyl is available on UDiscover, I believe. So that's what's going on with that. All right, what other new news is there? Speaking of stuff that's not Zappa, Oh, I've been talking about the Primus Drum Derby for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, the saga has finally finished. If you haven't seen it already, um, the Primusville, or the official Primus YouTube video channel, has released the final episode of the Primus Drum Derby, where, yes, believe it or not, Michael P. Dawson, there is stuff that's not Zappa. Man does not live by Frank alone. Although, if there was enough legitimate stuff, Lord knows I wouldn't be listening to much else. But as you know, Frank has broadened our musical appreciation and acceptance to the point where we get into other music because of Frank. Just today, I was listening to some Harry Parch, and I was loving it. Uh, the rhythms and the percussion alone, crazy, 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 wonderful. But anyway, the Primus Drum Derby. Okay, the last episode of the Primus Drum Derby has been released, in which they have John Hoffman and Georgi. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Dude from Hungary, smoking, amazing drummer. They were the last two drummers, the last two finalists that were auditioning for the Primus drumming chair. And what they did is they had them both come to Primus's studio, which is in Northern California at Les Claypool's, whatever he has, his compound, where he has his winery and his little tasting room and the studio, Rancho Relaxo. And they got to play some sets of Primus songs, and they also got to learn a new Primus song which had never been recorded before. And based on those final auditions, they chose their drummer in John Hoffman. And while Georgi is one hell of a drummer, he's amazing, and he's admired by many drummers. He was close, but he wasn't the perfect fit for Primus. It's just that when John played, it just seemed to be just right. It fit in the character of Primus in such a way that, like before him, Tim Alexander, Jay Lane, and Brain have fit in with Primus. So I am very excited about the future of Primus and what it's going to bring. I saw them last year on Herb's last tour. Amazing. So hopefully I will get to see Primus again someday. I know that today's the 10th. Oh no, I'm sorry. Tomorrow, I believe, Devo is playing in Cleveland. I'm going to miss that show, but I have seen Devo many times. But on May 25th, the Sasanta tour with A Perfect Circle, Pussifer, and Primus is going to be playing at Blossom Music Center. And it's like all three bands are set up on the stage at once. Sometimes it's one band playing, sometimes it's another, sometimes it's two bands, sometimes it's all three bands. It's a amazing evening of music. And I've got the EP. Let me pull it out here. There it is. I've got this Sasanta EP. This has been repressed. I've got it on this vinyl here. I know it's been repressed with a different color, and it is available at primusville.com in the Club Bastardo store. So if you're looking for that, and this does have a song, excuse me, sorry, by Primus with special guest Maynard James Keenan on vocals on it. So that's going to be kind of cool. Very, very cool. All right, so let's put that away. And so what I have to say is they show you on this last episode of the Drum Derby how they let Hoffman, or as he's now known, Hoffington or Hoffer, how they let him know that he was the new drummer for Primus. You got to watch it because it is absolutely heartwarming, and uh, it's great. It's an hour long, so bookmark it, watch it. All right, what else is new here? Yes, tomorrow is Mother's Day. Gotta remember it's Mother's Day. Listen to plenty of Zappa. Or, if you want, you can listen to some Mama Cass. Or, sorry, excuse me, Cass Elliot. All right. All right. Got an album this week that a lot of high fidelity people are crazy about. That's this. This is the Rhino hi-fi version of Black Sabbath's Paranoid, which I kind of was holding back on picking up because this is cut by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio, his mastering place and studio. And I have another copy of Paranoid that is cut by Kevin Gray. It's this Vinyl Me Please version, which came out in November 2015. I also used to have a copy of Paranoid that was cut by Chris Bellman, that was part of the Rhino vinyl series, came out in, I believe, 2010. And I thought that this was the all-end be-all of Black Sabbath Paranoid on vinyl. So when they did announce the hi-fi release of Paranoid and made it available on the Rhino.com site, it broke all records. It sold out within one day. So people started getting them, and the word got out that this copy of Paranoid is like no other. Even people with first pressing vertigo swirls were saying, forget that. This is the copy for me. It's the best sounding. Excuse me. Man, it's allergy season, can you tell? Anyway, so when they announced the non-numbered limited edition of Paranoid, so the original version of 5,000 had a number down here, but this is the non-numbered version. It's the exact same thing. It just doesn't have a number on it. Okay? So it came yesterday, and I'm thinking, if this is the be-all, end-all, I'll probably have to just get rid of all my other copies of Paranoid. I mean, I don't need to save multiple copies of every album that I re-buy. So last night I sat down and listened to it, and damn, it was the best sounding version of Paranoid I ever heard. And it was even better than the version that Kevin Gray cut for Vinyl Me Please back in 2015. Why was this better than this? Well, a number of different reasons. This was kind of early in the Vinyl Me Please career, and I don't know if you've heard, Vinyl Me Please is now undergoing liquidation. They're pretty much out of there. But anyway, this is on purple and white splatter vinyl, and it's pretty good sounding. And this was cut by Kevin Gray at Acoustic. Now, Acoustic is not in business anymore. This was Kevin Gray's previous employer that he was a partner in. And when he left Acoustic, he built his own cutting system and rebuilt a lot of the electronics, and also rewired everything. And I'm going to take a little detour from here, from Black Sabbath, and go into the jazz world, because there's a label called Strata East, and there is a release called Live at Slugs by Charles Tolliver on horn, Stanley Cowell on piano, Cecil McBee on bass, and Jimmy Hops on drums, collectively known as Music Inc. Anyway, so there is a video that came out. I believe it's on Tracking Angle, Michael Fremer's YouTube channel. And he talks a lot with Kevin Gray about his cutting system, because they're talking about how wonderful this album sounds. And allergy season. So let's talk about how wonderful this album sounds and what Kevin did to his cutting system. And Kevin talks about changing out the cables. He put new high-end cables. Now, a lot of people say, now, cables don't make a difference. And to be very, very, very honest, I used to say the exact same thing. Now, for most people with run-of-the-mill stereo systems, cables really don't make a difference. You know, you just buy a patch cable from Amazon or whatever, plug it in, and it sounds great. You love it. If you invest in high quality cables with a mid-fi system, in most cases you're not going to hear a difference. Now, I've been working on my system for some years. I got a Marantz integrated amp. I got a better digital interface, and I got a better cartridge for my Technics 1200 table. I got an outboard preamp. I've got the new Shit Audio Manny 2, which has a much more beefed up power supply and a heck of a lot more definition in it. So my system incrementally had been sounding better and better and better. And a long time ago, I think about 8 years ago, I bought a couple $100 worth of speaker cable. Very thick speaker cables. Tried to plug them in, and my system really wasn't up to it. And it's like, I don't notice any difference at all. So I pulled all the cables, just left them in a corner someplace for a long time. But now that I was hearing all sorts of little improvements in my system that was surprising me, I thought, I wonder. I've been tweaking my speakers so that I get just the right placement, the right imaging. I listen to stuff on my headphones a lot late at night. I do a lot of very, very, very critical listening through my headphones. I love my Audio-Technica ATX 50s. These are wonderful headphones. Anyway. So I took a day, pulled out all of the cables, separated the power cables from the signal cables, and then I ran these thick cables. And it's like less than 10 feet for each speaker going out to it and hooked those up. And in the days that followed that, I'm thinking, you know what? There is a subtle difference. It's different. And in this video that Kevin Gray talks to Michael Fremer in, he goes into detail about the cables, and he said that when he did change the cables, he tried an experiment. There was an album he was cutting. He cut it with the old cables, then switched the cables out and cut it again with the new higher quality cables. And he put a special matrix number in the dead wax that only he knew of, and sent off both sets of lacquers to have test pressings made. Test pressings came back, and different people from the industry that got that record, I don't remember exactly what it was, it's probably in that video, listened to both, and the version with the newer high quality cables, everybody said it was better. What did you do that was different on that? It was the cables. The cables made a difference. So, back to Paranoid. After listening to the Rhino Hi-Fi, I pulled out the Vinyl Me Please version and listened to that back to back. Okay? The Vinyl Me Please version is cut just a little bit hotter, which brings it closer to the middle of the record. But the Rhino Hi-Fi version sounds a little bit louder, even though it's not cut as hot. And I was listening to it and listening to War Pigs, and it gets to the point where it goes da 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 da. Now, when the hi-hat's just doing that little before Ozzy Osbourne starts singing, you can hear that this 50-year-old tape that Black Sabbath's Paranoid has been printed on, it's been run through tape machines many, 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 many times, because this album has sold millions. And as a result, this tape has had to be played many, many times. This tape's got some wear on it, and you can hear the print through, the pre-echo and the post-echo of the da-da, and you can hear it on both versions. And I'm thinking, you know what? I've got other copies of War Pigs. As a matter of fact, I've got that song on this CD, Black Sabbath, We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll. And I've also got the Rhino Quadio Blu-ray audio of Paranoid, which has a high res stereo copy of Paranoid on it. So I went back and listened to this, and I don't know how long ago this tape was digitized, but you don't hear the echoes of the tape, the pre-echo and the post-echo, on the digital versions, because I think that these transfers were made years ago before the tape started getting some abuse to it, or maybe not optimally stored. Excuse me. But even with those sounds in there, yeah, if you are looking for the ultimate copy of Black Sabbath's Paranoid, the Rhino Hi-Fi is the one to get. If you prefer digital, go for the Blu-ray audio on Rhino Quadio. You will not be disappointed. Thumbfinger, good evening, sir. Good to see you. Excuse me. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling that there's somebody messing with the chat room here. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want you to see that. But let's see what I can do here. Settings. Guests. How can I ban a guest? Ah, there we go. Here we go. Comments. Comments. Gotta figure out how to block this dude. Let's see here. Sorry about this, folks. I appreciate your stuff here. Settings. No. Let's see. Guests. Oh, well. I'll have to figure out how to ban that person, but please ignore that. Anyway, but Barry has a good question here. How can you tell if the tape is old? Well, Kevin Gray used the original analog tape to master that, and that album came out over 50 years ago. So logically it is. And he mastered the Rhino Hi-Fi version in 2024, late last year. So the tape is definitely more than 50 years old. Not only is it old, it's been played a lot because it's a very popular recording. You know, there's some records where initially when they came out they weren't that popular, but when they remastered them, if the tape has been stored properly, it still sounds great, and it doesn't have those defects on it. But just the same, even with those artifacts of more than 50 years, the audio on that Rhino Hi-Fi, it's worth the $50, which is $39.95 plus tax and shipping to get it. It sounds that good. It is the best sounding version of Black Sabbath's Paranoid I have ever heard. So that's that on that thing. What else is going on? Not much else is going on here. No deaths to talk about this past week. Finally listened to all of the Soul Coughing reissues that came out. Very happy about that. And near the end of this month, I am going to be selling some records at a record swap in Cleveland. Going to take place on the 25th of May at the Winchester Music Tavern in Lakewood, Ohio. And I'm thinking of, when that swap is over, any records that I have selected for that sale that have not sold, I may have a little auction on this channel. It's been a couple of years since I did an auction, huh? That's kind of fun stuff. So, what else is new? What's going on with you folks? You guys have been pretty silent in the chat room. I've been yakking my butt off, trying to see if there's. Let's see. Yeah, the only new record I've got this week is the Black Sabbath Paranoid, and that album's old news. But I already talked about all the stuff that is new about it. But yeah, that Live at Slugs on the Strata East label. If you are into, let me show that real quick here. I'm gonna put that up on the screen. Let's share the screen for Live at Slugs. Here we go. All right, let me just double check this. Nope, that's not it. Present. Let's see. No. Present. Stop screen. Nope. Let's see. Remove that from the studio. And I'll remove my little robo-duck from the studio. And let's see. Let's share the screen for Live at Slugs. Okay. Let's take a look. Is that there now? Hey, there we go. Okay. So let's bring that to the forefront. Okay. So after I heard part of this album on the video with Michael Fremer and Kevin Gray, I went to Acoustic Sounds to try and buy a copy. But they're sold out. However, I went to Bandcamp, and this is available on vinyl. Let's see, the vinyl version, let's see, 2LP. Doesn't say how much it is. Let's see, if I want to send it as a gift, let's see, hold on. Let's see, buy it again. Yeah, the album's $45 plus shipping. But the cool thing about this is that when you buy the album on vinyl, and you don't get this when you buy it on Acoustic Sounds, you get to download the whole album as 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz MP3 FLAC, Apple AAC. You can download the whole album, plus there's over 40 minutes of bonus live material from this session. This live set that I believe took place in 1970, was it? I think. Let's see. Yeah. Recorded May 1st, 1970 at Slugs. And this is some good jazz, man. Really good. It's it borders on 70s fusion, but it's kind of like beyond hard bop with a little bit of free jazz in there. But these guys, Boogie, they play like crazy. Loving the Charles Tolliver. Finally listened to the whole digital version of this album today, and can't wait to get the vinyl of this in so I can listen to it on my turntable and hear it in its full splendor. So check that out on Bandcamp. And while you're at it, if you're a Bandcamp person, you might want to just go and buy yourself a copy of, let's see, Spudlocks. Meh. Yes, that's right. The album for only $20, or you can buy the digital copy of the album and name your own price. So that'd be fun. A lot of fun. If you don't already have it, that is. So that's what's going on there. Let's move back to me. And yeah, it is a hell of a private. Let's see. Thumbfinger says, I'm sure you already talked about the Primus single that came out. I came in late. Yes, I talked all about the final episode of the Primus Drum Derby. and which if you haven't seen it yet, watch it. It's wonderful, and I also listened to the new track that has Maynard singing on it, and the when I heard the video of the new song, which is called Little Lord Fentanyl, compared to the basic tracks that we were listening to during the Primus Drum Derby, the finished version is a bit compressed. I don't like the fidelity of it that much. So I'm hoping they put that out as a 12-inch single. Maybe that would be really cool. So that's what's going on with that. So yeah, you saw it already. Good, very good, very good. Uh, so what do you say? Are we in the mood for a random pick? Pull out a record and talk about it. I know DJ Trish hasn't shown her face this evening, but if she was here, she would say, do a random pick. So, let's see. Pick a random number between 1 and 5,200. Okay. Number generator says... Oh, come on. No, 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 no. How about this? Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 5,200. 367. Okay. Let's do that. And then I'll start making some more funny noises. 367. That's going to be very early in the alphabet. Let's see. There we go. 367. Ooh, that's new. Okay. I think I got that album. Oh, no. I think I already put it on the shelf. Hold on a second. Let's get this out here. B-I. Here it is. Jello Biafra with DOA. Last Scream of the Missing Neighbors. Of course, Jello Biafra, most famous for being the lead singer of the Dead Kennedys. And now the Dead Kennedys have since gone off and are touring without him. And those bastards sued him because they claimed that he didn't give them the royalties that they were due, and that they weren't making as much money as they could because, somebody wanted to license the song Holiday in Cambodia and put it on a jeans commercial or something like that. And it's like, you know what? That's not the original intent of the music. No, we will not license that song for your stuff. So the other guys in the Dead Kennedys, who weren't running the record label, by the way, the record label is Alternative Tentacles, which is Jello Biafra's record label. So they went and sued him, and they said, hey, he's a singer, he's not even a musician, even though he writes a lot of the songs. And for some strange reason, the jury ruled in favor of the band. So what can I say? Yep, I agree with Thumbfinger. Money makes people crazy. Glad I don't have any. I got just enough to keep me with more music and to talk to you guys, okay? But this album is with the band DOA. And it's kind of like a mini album. It's got 5 songs on side 1 And side 2 is a long song called Full Metal Jackoff. And it's got all the usual stuff. Jello Biafra puts lots of extra stuff in his records, collages, all of the words, some cool graphics. And if I had to say something bad about the way that the Alternative Tentacles record company does business, is that they take orders for records and take your money way long before the record is available. For example, and let me see if I can find it because I think I've got it in one of my relatively new arrivals here. But let's see, is it right here? Is it near the, let's see. Oh, I think it's close by. Here it is. Okay. I ordered this record and paid for it in February of 2024. And I just got it about a month ago. It's Jello Biafra and the Guantanamo School of Medicine, Enhanced Methods of Questioning. This is a mini LP. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs on it. Pretty good. I like this even better than I like the Last Scream of the Missing Neighbors. I had this on cassette before I bought this on vinyl, and it's pretty good. It's got the usual Jello Biafra snark and social commentary. But this record, which happens to be in a polylined sleeve, let's see, what does it say here? The twin guitar attack blends some of the space punk overtones and amped up spy music clones of the Dead Kennedys, while adding a healthy dose of Detroit-style proto-punk, flavored with industrial excursions into metal percussion. And I got the black vinyl version of it. So, that was our random pick of this week. We are now 57 minutes, 3 minutes before the end of the hour. So I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. And I just want to thank you again for stopping by and listening to me yak forever about stuff that I may know too much about or I may not know enough about. But I talk about it anyway. So if you haven't ordered your copy of Cheaper Than Cheap, you can still get it on Zappa.com and you discover. I believe later on in the month of June, you will be able to order it from Amazon and other online places, as well as get it from your local stores, I hope. So, hope you all have a great night. I'm going to crank up the old Cynthia size A, as David Allen would say, to the to the machines that were operated by Tim Blake, or I forget what he was called, but the synthesizer was Cynthia Size A. Oh, dig my shirt. RL in the dead wax. It means Robert Ludwig, ladies and gentlemen. So, all right. All you folks, Michael, Thump, Barry, who else? We got Paul. We got whoever was trying to drop some spam in the chat. Thank you for stopping by anyway, even though I don't like what you did. Paul, North Carolina vinyl picker. All you folks, thank you for stopping by. Let's make some funny noises with the synthesizer.